memory lane of Joe Cranky Pants Biden's long history of snapping at people in the press. Joining me now to weigh in, Ohio congressional candidate Bernie Moreno and Newsmax insider Jay Shepard. Hey, guys. Despite Biden's attitude toward the press, despite his lack of availability to the press, they still adore this guy and they cover for him. In contrast, Trump talked for hours with these people in the press, boosted their ratings, and they continually treated him like dirt and unfairly. Bernie, I'm going to go to you first on this one. What do you think?
You know, it's nice to have the press on your side, right? It's nice to have all the major media outlets, big tech, universities, large corporations. You know, it's kind of a cabal. So when you have all that behind you, you don't really have to be the smartest guy in the room, as we've seen with our president.
Yeah, Jay, why don't you take a swing at that as well? What do you think about the biased press? He treats them like dirt, never available for them, but they're always there to cover for him.
Well, I sometimes wonder if it's because he has no answers for them, and it gives the liberal press an extra opportunity to talk about themselves and their own viewpoints on different issues. So they can act as though they're independent and they're giving him a hard time, while in reality, he's just giving them an opportunity to express their liberal viewpoint and tie it to him.
Some people are just a glutton for punishment, I suppose. Hey, guys, watch this.
The Supreme Court this fall will review a Mississippi law that bans most abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Is an unborn baby at 15 weeks a human being?
Let me just say that I'm a big supporter of Roe v. Wade. I am a mother of 5 children in 6 years. I think I have some standing on this issue as to respecting a woman's right to choose.
Non-answer from Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Bernie, what does that mean? I'm a mom of 5, so I should know that slaughtering children in the womb is okay. What is she trying to say there with that non-answer?
You know, what's amazing is the left is actually the ones that have the most radical position on abortion. They're the ones that want abortion anytime, any place, under any circumstance. And they never get called on it. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous the way that the media lets them get away with that. It was a complete non-answer, because the reality is we know that life begins at conception, and they just won't even acknowledge that and instead deflect, and the press lets them get away with it.
Now, despite the China virus pandemic and her city diseased with crime, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot had the audacity to claim that racism was the #1 public health crisis in Chicago. And Jay, I think the biggest racist threat is Chicago's mayor. Am I wrong?
Oh, absolutely. And she's one of the few that has actually come out and admitted that she's racist, that she's not going to talk to white reporters. I think she should focus on the problems in Chicago, which is public safety. You know, there are more people dying because she's not doing her job. She's not encouraging the police to do their job. You know, look at these law enforcement officers. Can you think of a tougher job? It's a job that most people don't want to do, but yet she's deciding she's going to take this largesse from the federal government that she's received, make up a name for it, saying there's a public health, when really what she's doing is just giving money to community activists, community organizers, and those types of things to try to ensure that her flunkies are taken care of and that her reelection occurs.
Yeah, there's only one tougher job in America than being a police officer in Chicago under Lightfoot. That's being a police officer in New York under de Blasio. Bernie, parents are rising up everywhere, rejecting the hate-filled curriculum that we all know as critical race theory in the government-run schools. I have not seen such a push from parents to get back into the school board meetings and take back their schools. This could actually have a silver lining, yes?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things in my Senate campaign in Ohio, what I talk about all the time is the need to really support local races, local school board races. I was born in Colombia, South America. I moved here when I was a kid, learned English, became a U.S. citizen. When my son went to college, he got a letter from the university saying because he's Hispanic, they had special tutoring available for him. Think about how incredibly condescending and how incredibly racist that is. You got to remember, the left is everything that they project on us. They're the racists, right? They're the ones that want lawlessness in our cities. It's really out of control. And the great news is parents are fired up. and we're going to make this part of our issue for 2022, and that's how we're going to take back the House and the Senate.
It's the Chris Salcedo Show axiom. Liberals possess qualities in abundance that they project onto others. Bernie Moreno and Jay Shepard, guys, thank you very much.